This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero, and if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to the boys.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Facebook for our Keiji Muto Grand Finale Roundtable Review, or should I say Keiji Muto Grand Finale Pro Wrestling Last Love Holdout Roundtable Review. That's the full title, ladies and gentlemen. Here to talk about the huge show from Tokyo Dome this past Tuesday, celebrating the final retirement match for Keiji Muto. As always, when we're talking about Japanese pro wrestling, including those from New Japan Pro Wrestling, had to bring in the MC for NJPW here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, past, present, and future, Mr. J-News.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about a good show for the most part, in what was that long entitled piece of pay-per-view, TV viewing, whatever you want to call it. Keiji Muto's last match. So along with us today, SP3, please introduce our guest.
Had to bring in some heavy artillery, so I had to bring in, when we did our preview for Battle in the Valley, I said that we would bring in some Ace Tekker flair with Sanal, so I had to bring in another Ace Tekker to talk about this huge show from the Tokyo Dome. You've seen him or heard him on Wrestle In's Ace Tekkers with myself, Karrion, and Sanal. You also see him and hear him over on the Wrestle Things podcast. Like I said, when we had Mex on here, the best and coolest wrestling podcast out in the UK, fusing with us, the best in the US. It is NK. What's going on, good brother?
Yo, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. I'm excited to talk about some good wrestling. You saw some good stuff on the show, man.
It was a very good show. I was surprised at how good it was. I thought with the card it was gonna be a very good show, but it was great, and that's why we put in the title. Was this the best show of 2023 so far? We're gonna talk about that at the end. But thank you so much, NK. But NK, I expect more. You got to do your own intro. I know you have your own intro. Right. Go ahead, go for it.
All right. Yo, people, it's your boy NK, aka the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, aka the Hood Japanese correspondent, aka the CEO, the president, the commissioner of the TDM Tokyo Dome Merchants. Yeah, man, I'm here.
You had to do it because we're talking about the Tokyo Dome anyway.
And,
and this card actually drew more than Wrestle Kingdom 17. Yes, that was shocker to me. This had 30,000 people in attendance. As always, we thank everyone who's joining us live for this roundtable review. Anyone that's watching on demand, we appreciate you as well. Remember to drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We want to hear your thoughts on this huge show from the Tokyo Dome. Sound off in the live chat. And of course, if you want your comment read on screen, super chat donations is the best way to do that. We'll try to highlight as many comments as possible, but the super chat donations helps the channel grow, helps us to do more live streams like this, and it will make sure we highlight your comment. We got Dolores in the chat who says, "What's up, everyone?" She's always with the plugs as always, and we appreciate her for that, saying please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel and join the True Hill Heat Patreon. Best money you will spend. Vala B, one of our favorites when it comes to Japanese professional wrestling, in the chat. He says, "I still don't trust this is Muda's final retirement." Yes, I mean, I saw the jokes online of people saying, I can't wait for Keiji Muto's grand finale part 2 next year. It's going to be great. It's gonna be great. We also got Dolores who says didn't watch live, just saw the match in clips, but after hearing maybe I should go back and watch it in whole. You definitely should. Vala B saying Naito drew all the dimes. Yes, he did. Yes, he did indeed. As always, start off our roundtable review. We'll start with NK. One word to give your overall thoughts on Keiji Muto's grand finale.
The word I used this word on Twitter, but I used the word pageantry. That's the word I use, like pageantry. It perfectly encapsulates what I love about Japanese wrestling specifically, and just what Keiji Muto was about. Whether he was Keiji Muto, whether he was the Great Muta, he always brought that sense of spectacle, pageantry, and I feel like that's what this show really showcased. Pageantry.
That's a great word to use. What about you, J-News?
Man, one word to describe this show. I would say not surprising, but more revealing in a sense, because I don't get to watch Noah enough.
Yeah.
So, and I know it was more than just Noah, New Japan, DDT, All Japan, and stuff like that, or whatever. So, it was a good amalgamation of all the different Japanese companies in one particular show. Everybody, I think, showed out, which I thought was the positive part about it. Nobody, wet the bed, as they like to say, or whatever. So, in this particular occasion, I want more. I want more SP3 NK. I want more, brother. Like at the end of the day, it just can't be New Japan anymore. And you guys know I love New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I need more. I need more.
I mean, after seeing the production alone on this show, like NK said, the pageantry, I was just like, I gotta watch Noah more. I've been watching more Noah, I would say, this year than I have since like the mid knots, the mid 2000s. It's been a while since I watched this much Noah between the Muta Nakamura show on January 1st, then Bye Bye Muta show with Sting and Darby Allin, and then this one. This is like the most Noah that I've watched in a while, and I would just say, out of all the Japanese promotions, they kill it with their production. Their production is
10 out of 10
tops. Even I would say it's even on par, or maybe even better than WWE. What about you?
I would certainly say it's better than WWE. I think WWE, they do a lot of stuff well, but boys, when it comes to like stage designs and stuff like that, that Noah stage was amazing. And I put out a tweet recently. Western promotions need to stop thinking LED lights constitutes the great presentation, because it doesn't. Like, you can't slap on LED panels here and there and think you're putting on a great show. Like, this is how you put on a good show, from the camera angles to the lights. And then we're going to obviously get to Muto's entrance itself, but boy, that just top to bottom, that's the best Okada entrance I've seen since probably Wrestle Kingdom 14.
Yeah, top notch. And I mean, we'll talk about the money jacket, but but yes, top notch as far as the production for the entrance. A lot of these, unlike with New Japan, we don't have a lot of like photos. It's very hard to find photos on Noah's website. They don't have it structured as saying that's the
only thing about Noah, that they're when it comes to cycling their news stuff and putting up results, they're not like New Japan in that particular sense, but it's all about the shows, man. So you got to watch it.
Yeah, you got to watch it. You got to watch it, or you're not going to get a lot from the website. But they broke down the card basically in tiers. They had like the pre-show, which was like 3 matches. Then they had a preliminary matchups, which was like 4 matches. And then they had the final 4 matches that were kind of like the main card of the show. The opening matchup on the pre-show was a tag team match featuring Noah Stars. This was kind of like the Young Lions versus the GHC tag team champions of Anabe and Kitamiya versus Yano and Inamura. Inamura, he was the person that was teamed up with Kiyomiya over at the Wrestle Kingdom 17 Noah versus New Japan show. And I thought this match was really well done. I like Kitamiya. He's like kind of like Noah's version of Ishii, in my opinion, because they kind of had him opposite Ishii on that Wrestle Kingdom Kingdom show, and the GAC Tag Team Champions got the win here with the Saito suplex by Kiyomiya on Yano for the win. I thought this was a really good opener, actually. I gave it 3.25 stars. What did you think about this opening matchup, NK?
This match was decent. Obviously, when it comes to a lot of the Noah stars, and people, a lot of wrestling outside of New Japan, it was kind of, a lot of this was like an introduction for me. Obviously, I've seen a few of these guys here and there, but like this is like the first Noah show I've watched start to finish, because the Keiji Muto bye, I was only there for Naka and obviously Keiji, and then obviously the Darby Allin match as well. But this match was very entertaining, and it makes me want to check out like Noah's tag team division, because they're GHC tag team champions, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, they beat Kojima and Segura at the last big show for Noah.
Yeah, so I definitely I'm interested in checking out more of their matches. But yeah, like this match didn't blow me away or anything, but like it was a good opener for me. Yeah.
What about you, J-News?
And man, I mean, I equate it to typical. The only thing I can equate it to typical New Japan first of the show fodder. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we get Yano as in, I guess, is Yano still considered like a young lion in a sense, or whatever case is?
I mean, he runs to the ring like the young lion, so I kind of still view him as a young lion.
Exactly.
And I guess
so,
they don't have the black trunks; they have the blue trunks for Noah Young Lion.
Yeah. So you know, to me, that's basically what it. And for them to get a shot at the tag team champions, I thought was a little. Just from a booking standpoint, I thought it was a little off, but you know, it is what it is. Everybody needed to get on the show somehow. So, not a decent match at the end of the day. Nothing super crazy at the end of the day. But when Kiyomiya did hit that Doomsday Saito, I was all up in my feelings. I was like, yes, that right there looks official. So, you know, it was a decent match, I would say. So, good way to kick off the show.
Now, you want to talk about a step up. This was a step up for me. The second match on the card was Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Showcase. You had Miyu Yamashita, Rika Tatsumi, Yoka Nakajima, and Yuka Sakazaki versus Maki Ito, Mio Watanabe, Mizuki, and Yuka Harai. I know a lot of these women. You know, some of them have worked in AEW. I also watched TJPW for their Princess show last year that had Thunder Rosa versus Yamashita. This one, man, this was so much fun. You had Maki Ito with her charisma, doing the singing, doing the Kokeshi, her hard head that she's like part Samoan. You had her flipping people off in this one, just showing so much charisma. Watanabe might be the best young star in all of Joshi wrestling. Like, she's just so strong. She had a couple of spots where she was highlighted when she did the swing on Nakajima. Then she did a double power slam later on in the match. I saw one of the craziest moves I've seen in a match by Mizuki, who does the whirling candy. Oh my God. I was like, this is crazy. This match was just turned up to 10 after like 2-3 minutes of filling out. It just went up to 10, and then it ended crazy as well. You get Nakajima with the big jive. You get Yamashita with the big roundhouse death kick, as I like to call it. And then Yuka Sakazaki, being the reigning princess champion, she hit her magical girl splash for the win for what they called the TJPW present beating the TJPW future. I absolutely love this match, and I might be the high man on this, but I gave this match 4 stars. This stole out of all the pre-show matches up until when we get into later in the card. This was one of my favorite matches of this entire show. What did you think, J-News?
I enjoyed this match quite a bit. The lady who stood out the most to me was Watanabe. Like, her movement in that ring was freaking flawless, bro. Like, there was nothing that I feel like she couldn't do. Yamashita, man, listen, we got a taste of her a couple of months ago. Yo, she is bad ass, bro. Bad ass. Like, these ladies from Tokyo Joshi Pro, no knock on any of the Stardom ladies, but like, it's that this style is different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like I said, like I was saying before about the show, just in general, like, I need more of this TJPW stuff, man. Like, these Joshi girls are like, they're on another level for women's wrestling in that particular regard. Yuka Sakazaki, one of my favorites just to watch, man. Just, it's not commonplace to see women high flyers, and at the end of the day, she's always surprising me with stuff that she does in the ring. And yeah, man, when I saw that freaking tornillo plancha inside the ring, I was like, instead of just being from inside to the outside, I was like, oh, this is next level stuff, So definitely, I'm with you, SP3. Yo, I gave this 4 stars. It was fun as hell. Great pace, I thought, at the end of the day. And yeah, man, looking forward to more Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling in the future for me as well, man. So yeah, that's definitely something dope. What you think about it, NK?
Yeah, listen, I've had the Joshi itch for a while, and I've always said to myself, I want to get into more Joshi. And this match is exactly why. Just even something as simple. I'm very I love the way these women bounced off the ropes. I don't know why. Just the speed at which they hit on the ropes and then they came back in, and that, because I've seen clips of that tornillo plancha online on different Twitter websites, but seeing it in the context of a match, ridiculous. And then Yuka Sakazaki, ridiculous. Yuka Sakazaki has been one of my favorites. I've obviously seen a few of these women from AEW and seen them in other promotions, but yeah, this match has definitely given me a reason to go and check out the next TJPW pay-per-view. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on, and definitely going to see if some of these women on the card as well, because I've definitely got the Joshi bug, and I need more. I need more of this content. This is excellent, and I'm glad that they got the platform this to showcase itself. And I think that this is something that was the benefit of this show, was that you got to see, because a lot of people might not tune into a TJPW for whatever reason, but they'll tune into a Keiji Muto retirement show, and then a show like this will give them the platform to really showcase their talent to a wider audience. There's 30,000 people in the Tokyo Dome, probably a couple thousands of people watching online. There's probably a lot of people's first exposure to these women, and boy, did they make a good first impression.
Yeah, they made the most of their time out there, and I love the fact that it was an 8-woman tag, and I feel like all the women kind of stood out in their own way. They all have different skills, and we're gonna see more of Miya Yamashita. She's coming to the U.S. between April and June. Maki Ito, I always when I see her now, I always think of the fact that Nick Gage inducted her into the MDK gang. So she I hear in my head every time Nick Gage on the GCW shows says, "Where my fucking gang at?" I hear Maki Ito say, "Where my fucking gang at? Where my I love it. That pops me so much. I showed my missus that. I was like, how can you not pop at this? We got Dolores in the chat. She says, from what I saw, this looked good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go back. If J-News and SP3 on one page hyped bout, it's worth watching fully. Absolutely. Go out of your way to watch TJPW. And like NK said, and we got Vala B in the chat saying, get Wrestle Universe for $9.99, because you get all of that. You get TJPW, you get DDT, you get Noah. So if you want to see more of that, that's the best way to do it. But definitely the next pay-per-view. Yeah, I'm probably going to go out of my way to watch that. And Yuka Sakazaki has been making frequent appearances in AEW, and seems like she's going to be the one who faces Athena for the ROH Women's World Championship at Super Card of Honor on March 31st. And TJPW has a show during WrestleMania weekend in Los Angeles. So definitely go out of your way to watch that as well. But they finished up with these pre-show matches with a 6-man tag featuring the stars of Pro Wrestling Noah, with the best stable name in the game today, the good-looking guys of Jake Lee, Jack Morris, and Anthony Green versus Satoshi Kojima, Takeishi Segura, and Timothy Thatcher. We know a lot of these guys from their previous lines of work. The good-looking guys is kind of being established as the new stable in Noah, and they were the ones that got the win here after Lee hit Thatcher with a kick in the corner, leading to the 1-2-3. Kojima looked good in here, and I heard that this is Kojima's kind of final time in Pro Wrestling Noah. He's ending his run. I did not like this match as much as the other two matches on the pre-show. This is probably my lowest match or the worst thing on the pre-show or the main show, in my opinion. I only gave it like 2 stars. What did you think, NK?
This match did nothing for me. Like, it was one of those matches, like, I watched, like, I barely, like, until you reminded me, I forgot it was on the card. Like, I forgot about this. Like, it was whatever to me. And I've heard, like, a lot of people who I trust are huge fans of Jake Lee and stuff like that. So maybe I might have to check out his other stuff, because this wasn't, like, shining endorsement of him. But, again, it was a 6-man tag. So, and especially coming after the women's match as well, it was like, yeah, I don't really have too many thoughts on this. It was definitely, like, for people who haven't watched the show, I'd say skip this match. You're not missing much.
Yeah, I don't think you would miss anything at all if you skip this one. What about you, J-News?
It's a tough sell, man. It's a tough sell. I'll say this, man. You know me. I love Koji. At the end of the day, I've been watching New Japan my entire life. And so he is part of that Mount Rushmore of New Japanness that is there. But yeah, man, the good-looking guys. Really?
Best stable name, though. I don't give them much credit, but Jack Morris is really good. He had a good match with Kiyomiya on the Great Voyage show. That was the match before Okada came out and gave him the Rainmaker.
So NK said something about Jake Lee. I need to watch other matches of his, because it seems like there's something there. I just didn't see it in this match.
Yeah,
and whatnot. The other thing is that I'm also a big fan of Timothy Thatcher, and this match just made Timothy Thatcher look like he's a damn loser, and he is not. We know Tim Thatcher. That man is great in the ring, and this match didn't do him any favors. So, yeah, let's skip this one.
This one is the one to skip, ladies and gentlemen. If you're gonna watch the show after watching our review, do that. And then they started off the next section of the card with another multi-man matchup. This one was a 10-man tag team match, as you had another Pro Wrestling Noah showcase, but this one the Noah Junior Heavyweight, as Chris Ridgway, Daga, Ita, Hayata, and Okawa versus Alejandro, Atsushi, Kajani, Junto Miyawaki, Saki Yoshiaki, and Yohei. I knew how to say that one. This one was the Noah kind of juniors, what you probably expect from them. Some high flying, some technical ability. The Stinger team, as they're called, their stable. Stinger got the win after Ridgway got a choke for the submission victory. But after the match, Ridgway and Hayata were blindsided by their former faction mates, as Okawa led the charge with Daga and Ita to clear them out. So there was some storyline development for Noah fans. I think you have to be a Noah fan to kind of get what happened. I was just like, okay, they were on. I saw some rift between them because they were like tagging each other in and stuff. So they told that story during the matchup, and then they completed it during the post match. But I wasn't fully invested because I don't know the story from not watching Pro Wrestling Noah. The match itself, I gave it 2.25 stars, so slightly better than the last match. But this would be one of the other matches that I probably would tell people you can watch it and you'll get a little something, but you don't have to watch it. NK?
I feel like there's a stretch. There was the match before this match, and I think it was a match after this, I think it was another 6-man tag where it was like I would say this is the cold portion of the pay-per-view, where basically all the multi-mans I wasn't messing with. Aside from the women's, like a spoiler alert.
There was one. I'm gonna tell. There was one. There was one.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. I remember. But yeah, again, this is basically this match and next match fused together. My opinions. It was just. Do you know what it is? I'd say there was a lot more dynamic action in this one compared to the last match. Obviously, because the other match had, Kojima, you had older guys, so it's to be expected. But this match was solid. Like, I wouldn't say it was a bad match or anything of the sort. It was just solid. And in a pay-per-view with very high highs, it can kind of get lost in the shuffle. So yeah,
I definitely agree with that assessment. J-News?
So this match took me a little bit by surprise with some of the competitors in it. I wasn't aware Chris Ridgway was still working. NK, you know better than me because Ridgway's over in the UK.
Yeah.
So I had no idea he was still doing anything as of right now. And to see Daga in the ring, the dude's talented. Don't get me wrong, he's talented. He's just been roaming with the wrong folks for the last couple of years, man. That's all
marrying the wrong folks.
Divorced now.
I know. Now they divorced, but he been married to the wrong type of folks, and that really killed his career.
Yeah, it did. Unfortunately, because sometimes you're just guilty by association with certain things. So it is what it is there. But yeah, man, I introduced to a lot of different guys here. Alejandro is probably the only wrestler that I've seen before in previous matches. So he reminds me a lot of the local talent, the mighty Mantequilla here in New York, for the gear and stuff like that or whatever. So, but besides that, it was just like NK said, the match was there. It was part of that fluff in the show that didn't necessarily do much for me. But yeah, I it was there, man. It
was kind of there. Yeah, it was solid. It was kind of there. Those are the best assessments I've heard. Next up was another multi-man matchup. This one, another 10-man tag, I believe. No, 8-man tag, as this was the DDT showcase matchup. You had Maya, Katasumata, Kojima, the second Kojima, Yuka Yuno versus Tetsuya Endo, Yuya Karuka, Hideki Okantani, and Masada. Masada was the one that stood out for me in this one. This match with DDT. Most of DDT is not for everyone, but I thought the young guys in this one really showed out. There was a nice little high flying. Tetsuya Endo has one of the prettiest shooting star presses that I have ever seen, and especially because he's added a lot of muscle from the last time that I saw him. A lot of bulk on that man now, so it just looks even more impressive that he's still able to pull it off. In the end, it was the team of Maya, Katasumata, and Kojima and Yuno who got the win, with Yuno hitting Masada with the WR for the win in this one. I thought this was a lot better, actually, because it was a lot better pace than the previous multi-man matches. So I was a little bit higher on this one than the other ones. I gave it 3 stars, but like NK said, this is kind of the section of the show that you can either watch it or you can miss it. It doesn't really matter. What did you think, NK?
Yeah, I thought like again, Tetsuya Endo's shooting star was just like beautiful. And he's a name that I've heard, like I've seen highlights before and so on and so forth. So I was like paying a lot of attention to him and his movement. But yeah, this match is significantly better than the previous two that we mentioned. Significantly better. Again, not blow away, but I'd say go out of your way to check out this one. Like I would say, like for people, like if there's a match that out of the 3 we just spoke about that you should watch, it is this one. And yeah, DDT is not for everyone, but I feel like everyone should experience DDT. You know what I'm saying? Like try it and then see if you jive with it or not. But other than that, yeah, like enjoyable match. A lot of talent that I'm looking forward to seeing in the future. Because after this pay-per-view, I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to the Cyber Fight owned companies.
Yeah, and then DDT they're another one that has a show during WrestleMania weekend. They have their own separate show, and they have one with GCW. So they're going to get some more eyes on them in LA during WrestleMania 39 weekend. What about you, J-News?
The only names that I knew here were Ueno and Tetsuya Endo. And like you said, SP, I think the last time I saw Endo, he didn't have as much muscle on him as I saw in the night, during the night. And that shooting star was, man, when we talk about athleticism and something looking pretty, I mean that's something else right there. And Ueno is like the second coming of freaking Ibushi, so it is what it is in that regard. But yeah, I like you two said it before, I think that DDT is definitely not for everyone, but DDT does have its stalwarts and standouts and guys who are going to be able to capture the imagination and things of that nature. Chris Brooks has been over there for a long period of time. He's been one of my favorite wrestlers in all of wrestling in the last 6 to 7 years, since I started watching the UK in the scene and whatnot, since it's popped off and whatnot. And he's over in DDT doing his thing over there. And at the end of the day, that's where we got the man Taki Suit from. You know what I'm saying? So, DDT's got some stars. So I would say check out the match just to see if you like the style and things of that nature. A lot of the time when you do watch DDT stuff, it does look a little bit sloppy, but it's purposefully that way. That's the way that I would say it. But nothing major out of this particular match either.
Next one, we had a 6-man tag. This one was Dragon Gate versus Pro Wrestling Noah, as Dragon Gate was represented by Diamante, Kai, and Shun Skywalker versus the Noah crew of the national champion El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., Namishi Marufuji, and my boy Ninja Mac on this card. I love to see Ninja Mac showcased here. This match, though, I felt like it was going well, and then Diamante had an obvious injury because he was out the rest of the matchup. And I don't know if you guys peeped it, but when he hurts his arm, because I think it was like an arm injury, because he lands on Wagner with like a splash, because he gets backflipped into the splash, and then he hurts his arm, and he literally tells Wagner Jr. to pull his arm out. Like I saw it like clearly, and I was like, oh, he's out of this match. We're not going to see him the rest of the match. And then quickly thereafter, they went to the finish with Dr. Wagner Jr. Hitting his beautiful moonsault on Kai to give the Noah team the victory here. Like I said, this match was going along fine, and then the injury happened, so I gave it 2.5 stars. But what did you think, J-News?
The injury took me out of it a little bit. I'll say that. It was interesting to see the guys from Dragon Gate here, especially Shun Skywalker, because I was like, what the hell is this? Like it was Max Moon with just black, and like he had this very stiff appearance, and I was like, I wasn't necessarily understanding what was going on or what the gimmick was, but it is what it is. In that particular, Diamante was typical Lucha Fest type of wrestler before he got injured and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, cool. So guys is out here moving and stuff or whatever. Always pop for freaking Marufuji, man, because he's a freaking legend at the end of the day. Man, seeing Ninja Mac, bro, like just seeing him in the ring in a freaking Noah show was so dope, man. Just understanding that he's been able to take his career to other heights. Big props to Ninja Mac in that regard. But the match itself, like I said, the injury kind of took me out of it and stuff like that, because I always worry more about the guys in there when, whether they're healthy or not. The results don't really matter in that particular regard. So, like you said, the match was going well until that happened, and then they had to call the audible, and, they went from there. So it is what it is. What about you, NK? How'd you like this one?
Ninja Mac's my guy. Ninja Mac, like I got exposed to him through GCW, and then just seeing him on a Noah show, and just seeing a lot, like, it's kind of the moments where you're like, oh, like he's moving up in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like he's moving up in the world. Shun Skywalker was, I couldn't take my eyes off him. Like he was just so interesting. Like to me, like I was just like, who is this guy? What is his MO? Like what? I just found him visually interesting, and same thing to echo what you guys said. I feel like I didn't notice the injury. English is killing me today. Injury at first, and I'm a British person. Imagine, but injury at I didn't notice the injury at first, but as soon as I saw the pace of the match slow down, and then it went to the finish, I was like, oh, okay, that's what that was. Because I was like, what happened there? And then I kind of focused on the match, but then I noticed, it definitely affected the pacing of the match. But again, very enjoyable. And for people who, because I had a lot of people who don't traditionally watch Japanese wrestling, are like, why are there so many multi-man matches? That's kind of a pill you got to swallow in Japanese wrestling. Yeah. Multi-mans for days. Just, it's a part of it. Until you get to like the upper four, you're gonna have to sit through these multi-man matches. That's just the way the cookie crumbles on this side of town.
Yeah, and this was just a way to get like a lot of people on the card as well. So I definitely understood why there were so many multi-man matches on this card specifically. And this is the reason here, ladies and gentlemen, why me and J-News was like, it was stopping NK from saying all the multi-man matches didn't produce too much because of this damn match right here. Where you had Pro Wrestling Noah versus All Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW being represented by one of my new favorite wrestlers, Kento Miyahara, Suama, Yoma Ayaki, versus the Congo team from Pro Wrestling Noah of Keno, Nakajima, and Soya. This one completely overachieved. They had some great people in there, but just the dynamic of Miyahara versus Nakajima carried this whole fucking match for me, because this was a match where I just came out of it and I was like, I want to see more of these two guys going at it. Nakajima with his hard strikes, how Miyahara moves around the ring and his pacing in the ring is really second to none. And if you didn't watch Miyahara's matchup for the Triple Crown Championship with Yuji Nagata over last weekend, go out of your way to watch that one as well, because that was a match of the year candidate. But these three guys, all three guys on the All Japan team, really showed out and had one of their best performances. And Kongo always delivers. If you've seen them on the Noah versus New Japan shows, you know that Soya brings a lot of the power. Nakajima with his hard strikes and his kicks, and then Keno just being the most miserable bastard in the world. And it all came down to Keno going at it with Oyaki, who has kind of really been stepping up as of late. He had a great match with Miyahara and NJPW as well. And this was just a excellent trios matchup where everyone was able to be showcased. Everyone stood out in their own way. Keno finally got the win with PFS to get the victory for Kongo, which is very rare. If you only watch Noah from the New Japan Noah shows, this is probably the first time you ever seen Kongo win. I was like, yes, Kongo fucking won. This is great. But yes, everyone sold out. There was brawls on the outside. Like I said, the highlight of this was Kento and Nakajima going at it. And then even after the match, they had an intense stare down, perhaps setting up another interpromotional matchup later on. But I'm just glad Kongo won. And like I said, this was the peak of all the multi-man matches. This is the one you need to go out and see. I gave this one 4.25 stars, so slightly even better than the TJPW. Not as fun as the TJPW, but I thought the wrestling here was just a notch better than all the other multi-man matches on the show. J-News, what did you think?
So I'm going to say this first, just to get this out of the way. I am not a fan of Keno. I can't buy it. I do not buy it. I just don't. I don't. That's all. So I wanted to get that out of the way first. Secondarily, Nakashima, man, the dude, him, and I forgot what the guy from All Japan's name is, but you were mentioning it the whole entire time. Miyahara. They're square off, man. That entire match was what I needed to see. And then, their big man on the All Japan side, he ate people up in that match. Ate them up when he was in there. Wasn't nobody trying to touch him or mess with him or whatever. And when they did, they just he was swatting people like flies. It was great to see. For a guy who grew up in the 90s watching All Japan pro wrestling stuff, the King's Road stuff and stuff like that, to understand that All Japan is still around at this point in time in wrestling history is a lot, because All Japan has had a lot of downs in the last 20 years.
Excursion as well.
Yeah, man. So it's good to see that All Japan is still thriving. Good to see that All Japan was able to get a little bit of a limelight here, being that this was Keiji's last show. If people don't know, Keiji Muto was one of the people who was one of the forefathers of All Japan Pro Wrestling. He helped start it. So it's just one of those things where it was cool for me to see the All Japan contingent party here. Kongo, not my favorite faction, but they have their good quality dudes. But the match itself, for all intents and purposes, I liked it a lot. Just showcased everybody here. Not as fun as the Tokyo Joshi Pro match, as SP3 said, but a lot of hard hitting stuff, and we expect strong style here for Japanese wrestling. So that was my take on it. What about you, NK?
I said this before on Ace Tech, but I'll say it. Nakajima is probably one of the scariest wrestlers in the world, because you never know. You just never know with him. You never know when he's gonna flip the switch and kayfabe injure someone or actually injure someone. And it's at this point, it's become so synonymous with him that it's just a part of his character at this point. Yeah, man. This match was super enjoyable. With Keno, I enjoy Keno as a character more than I do as a wrestler. Like, I feel like in ring, he's good, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to I need to watch this Keno match. But Keno as a character is hilarious to me. Like, he's like the funniest. Like, you know, in comedies you have the comic relief character and the straight man. He's the best straight man of all time. Like, he's miserable as hell. Like, he's Squidward. He's Squidward to me. Like, he's hilarious. But yeah, this match was super enjoyable. Great in ring work. I think this is like the most technically sound match up until this point that we reviewed. And yeah, man, this is when I felt the pay-per-view really kick up on us, because there was a point in time during that middle period where I was like, okay, can we just get to the main matches I want to see? And then this match really woke me up. Because this pay-per-view was early in the UK. So I was falling asleep a little bit, but this match woke me up.
Hey, it's even earlier for us, and that I didn't watch this one live, but going back and watching it, I was like, oh my god, like Miyahara, like I said, he's one of my favorites. I've seen like 3 or 4 of his matches this year, and he's on pace to be a Wrestler of the Year candidate, especially if you do the Tokyo Sports End of Year Awards. He's definitely going to be up there, because his match with Nagata, his match with Oyaki, and his tag team matchup for their tag team titles have all been great, and this is another one that gets to add to that list. And give me Miyahara versus Nakajima. Put Miyahara in the N1 for Noah and just have a field day with that. Next, we had a match which once again probably skippable, but he had Nosawa's final matchup, final de lucha. Nosawa teaming up with Mazada to verse the Bullet Club tag team of Gato and Taiji Ishimori. This one wasn't good, but at least it was brief. Nosawa's team, they basically jumped the Bullet Club team early on. Gato has some history with Nosawa from what I know, and they went at it a little bit in this one. In the end, it was Ishimori who looks at Nosawa as kind of like a mentor of sorts. He was about to put him away with the bone lock, but then he let go and had second thoughts, and then Nosawa basically had to hold his tag team partner back and told Ishimori to finish him off, and he hit the bloody cross for the victory here in about just under 5 minutes. After the matchup, the Bullet Club members gave the 2 suite to Nosawa and Mazada, and then Nosawa had his send-off, as this is his final matchup as well. I mean, it was under 5 minutes. I give it 2 stars, but it was nice to see, them give Nosawa his moment, even though this felt like a strange retirement on this show. NK.
Every Gator match is capped at 3 stars. So even if it was great, it was the max is gonna get is 3, but he didn't get a 3. It's a 2. Ishimori did his best. Ishimori is always good, but the time length was good. Like it should have been 5 minutes. It should have been 2, to be honest. But I don't care to see Gator wrestle at all. Like, he does nothing for me. This match did. It was there. It was inoffensive. I'm not gonna rag on it too much. It was 5 minutes, but moving on swiftly. That's what I'll say. Just moving on swiftly.
J-News.
I didn't know any of the storyline tie-ins here. I didn't know how Masawa tied into Ishimori or Gato or whatever. I just popped for Los Perros del Mal because, you know me, I grew up on the luchas. So at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where 5 minutes, cool. We got it. It was over. Watching Ishimori cry, having that Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moment.
Sorry, I love you.
Exactly. So it was what it was there. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Pretty fair right there. Valabi saying, man, I did not like watching Ishimori cry. Sad muscle chihuahua. Yes, indeed. Perfect way to describe it. This is when the show, from here on out, you'll need to watch everything on the show. You had the meeting of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion versus the GAC Junior Heavyweight Champion, as they titled it Tokyo Tornado, as NJPW's Hiromu Takahashi versus Pro Wrestling Noah's Amakusa. And I love Hiromu Takahashi. But Amakusa was the MVP of this damn matchup. Hiromu, though, coming out with the alien eyes jacket. I always love that. I pop for that. Amakusa just came, like, he turned this shit up from 0 to 100 real quick. Once Hiromu goes to the outside, this dude does a Fosbury Fobs through the second and first rope. He does a dive to the outside. This guy was just going crazy. They had some really like junior SD sequences. Hiromu tried to control things by establishing the pace, and Hiromu's offense eventually led up, allowing Amakusa to land 2 more stunning dives to the outside. Unable to close, Amakusa ran at Hiromu, but Hiromu caught him with a nasty throw into the corner. He landed a lariat, but Amakusa eventually got back up and got back into it when Hiromu basically started taunting him with his old mask. Amakusa retook the lead and control of the mask and started doing offense with the mask on his hand. He scored a near fall after avoiding the time bomb. Then we got one of the nastiest fucking time bomb ones. Look at his head. Oh my God. I was like, I almost had PTSD of watching Hiromu land on his head against Dragon Lee in 2018, because this time bomb, he hasn't hit the time bomb like this in a very long time. You have to go back to its early days after his excursion against Kushida when he was hitting the time bomb like this. But eventually he gets him up for time bomb 2 and puts Amakusa away. This one was a great matchup. I gave it 4 1/4 stars as well. After the matchup, the 2 junior heavyweight champions showing respect to one another, and Amakusa, he definitely impressed me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the junior festival now. What did you think about this one, J-News?
Man, this thing, pace. That's all I gotta say about this match is pace. I've never seen Amakusa wrestle before. This is my first introduction to him, and to see him just, and this is a rare occasion because we know we're big Hiromu Takahashi fans, but Hiromu got shown up in the first 2 minutes of this match. The first 2 minutes, and I was like, bro, this is unreal, man, because this to me is what juniors wrestling is supposed to be, right? This is where it's supposed to get the high flying, flippy dippy shit and everything else in between, but also the fast paced exchanges in the ring and things of that nature. So like to be able to get that, and Hiromu was basically outshot in this match, brother, at the end of the day, give me this all day. I want to watch. I obviously I was going to watch the junior festival anyways, but Amakusa, I'm gonna keep my eye on him for real, man. From a score standpoint, 4 stars for me for this match, just because at the end of the day, the pace was so like it was just something I hadn't seen in a while. And I was like, yo, did I just watch a match? And I was like, because it was that fast to me. But yeah, man. NK, what about you, man?
Oh, Amakusa. Just listen. I said after that match, best of Super Juniors, give him a call. Give him a call. Give him a call. Give him a call. I need that. I need to see more of him. But obviously, he's a Noah talent. But it wouldn't be the first time a Noah talent has appeared in a New Japan tournament, and it certainly shouldn't be the last. Because I'm somebody I'm lukewarm on Hiromu Takahashi. I love him as a wrestler, but sometimes I find the monster pushes he gets annoying sometimes. But regardless, he got shown up. And that Hiromu's amazing. He did his job, but Amakusa was sensational. Just the pace, his athleticism. I was watching this, I was like, hold on. Yeah, I need to see more of him. I definitely need to see him. I'd love to see Amakusa. I was even fantasy booking the next New Japan and Noah card. I said, yeah, you could put him right there with Despy, put him right there with Taichi. Like there's so many guys that I'd love to see him go against. And yeah, this was a great match. Like I gave it a 4 stars. But yeah, this match was great, man. This match was great.
Enjoyed the hell out of this one, and we get some information. Like I said, Valabi knows his Japanese wrestling and his history. He says it's called Tokyo Tornado because they were a tag team called Tokyo Tornado in the UK scene about 10 years ago. So thank you for that information. It's something I didn't know. You learn something new every day. We appreciate you, Valabi, in the chat. And next up, Man, this was the match I think a lot of people were waiting for on this card. The semi-main event, as they called it, shining through as Pro Wrestling Noah's GHC heavyweight champion Kaito Kiyomiya went one-on-one with the GOAT, with the ace of the new ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada. Both men had some, like NK said at the beginning, some pageantry type entrances. Kiyomiya with his flamboyant, very jacket, very aesthetic of like Go Shiozaki meets Keiji Muto. Then you had Okada with one of the best Okada entrances that I've seen. Just how the stage looked with Okada coming out. He looked like the final boss when he came out here. And then this match, man, this was just all the smoke was here in this one. It started off with like a very sloppy collar and elbow tie up, and then Okada just kept throwing Kiyomiya to the outside like he just was bothered by him. Like, you don't deserve to be in the ring with me. Then they would keep getting into the tie up until they started throwing strikes. Okada hits a big old German suplex, and then he does the Rainmaker pros, just showing off his cockiness. He throws Kaito to the outside again, and he hits a big backdrop on the wooden part of the floor, and then a DDT. Kaito hobbled, comes back into the ring where Okada taunts him with kicks to the head, similar to the kick that Kaito gave him. He was basically in full control at this point. Then Kiyomiya stuck Okada with intensity during an opening that Okada gave him. This allowed Kaito to bring Okada to the floor, where he whipped him into the barricade multiple times. After a brief struggle where Okada got him over the guardrail, Kiyomiya hit a suplex onto the floor, onto the wooden part of the floor, then did a remarkable dive, a flip dive over the barricade, wiping out Okada. He comes back in for a German suplex for a near fall, but Okada comes back with the flapjack. We get the Okada drop kick, which always pops me every time this man hits it. Then he lands the tombstone and then the spinning Rainmaker, but he goes for the standard Rainmaker, and Kaito kicks the knee, kicks the arm, and then he goes after the arm repeatedly with drop kicks, barrage of drop kicks, even one from the top rope. Kaito then comes back, landing he lands the big Shining Wizard, the move that he took from Muta after defeating him for the GAC Heavyweight Championship, and that gets him a near fall. At this point, the crowd is just going crazy. He comes back for another Shining Wizard, but Okada catches him with another drop kick. Okada lands a lariat, and then he tries again for the Rainmaker, but Kaito reverses. He tries for a move of his own, but Okada hits him with the drop kick again. On the second Rainmaker attempt, Kaito reverses it into another Shining Wizard, and then a Tiger suplex for a near fall. Okada eventually hits the landslide, and then he finally hits the Rainmaker. He's holding on to the arm. We think it's over. 1, 2, and this man lifts up Kiyomiya like the cocky bastard he is. He picks up Kiyomiya. He gives him the Inoki Insiguri, then the Emerald Flosion, and then a second Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. In about 17 minutes, Okada defeats Kiyomiya, and then he walks out the ring like nothing happened. This man is a god, I swear to God. This man is the GOAT. I absolutely adore this fucking match. This was fantastic and exactly what it needed to be. He told the story of Okada's cockiness, but him proving himself right and teaching this young man a lesson that you are not at the GOAT's level. You are great at what you do, and you're great. You can give me a little bit of a struggle for 15 minutes, but at the end of the day, I'm here, you're there. Perfect storytelling, a near perfect matchup. I gave it 4 3/4 stars. NK, what did you think?
I don't know if you guys are NFL fans, but there's a clip of Michael Irvin that I always see online. How you gonna let the man come into your house, eat your meal, put his foot on your plate? That when Okada hit the Emerald Flosion, I said, "Oh wow, the disrespect." The absolute ghoul, the audacity. Oh my God, this match was incredible. And I know a lot of Noah fans might be upset. I understand why you're upset, but I don't care. I don't care either. I don't care. Okada is literally in my top 5 of all time. He is the GOAT. He is my GOAT. And the match itself, like the finish aside, the match itself was a very even exchange for the most part. Like back and forth, back and forth. Kiyomiya showcased himself well. Although I've had this agenda for years. I've never liked the Shining Wizard. Never will. I don't like the Shining Wizard as a move. I've like, especially in recent memory, it never connects properly. People don't do it right. It's always sloppy. Yeah. So I just don't like the Shining Wizard. But I like the whole angle of Kiyomiya working Okada's arm. That dive he did outside the ring was really good, was really nice. But yeah, man, Okada started off the year incredibly. The run he's been on since Wrestle Kingdom, the match with Jay White, the match with Shingo, the match with Tanahashi was alright, but this match was great. Yeah, what a match! And honestly, I want to see these two fight for a long period of time. I feel like Kiyomiya eventually should get his get back, you know, if we're being fair. But this match, Okada being a cocky, arrogant, smug, narcissistic wrestler, for like going back to the early Rainmaker days, like post-excursion Rainmaker days, where he was just full of himself. I adored it, and the entrance was God mode. Like that entrance, that was top tier. Overall, this match was incredible for me. I adored it. The Emerald Flosion is so disrespectful because we know that's Kiyomiya's idol.
Yes.
And he obviously is the guy, obviously made Noah what it is. So it's like, you know, I'm a New Japan guy. I'm going to come into your house, hit your goat smooth, pin your prodigy, and then just leave. Like it's another Tuesday.
And then he got asked, do you want a rematch? He said, no. Okada, please keep this up the rest of the year. I said it on social media on the True Hill Heat Twitter page, and I'll say it here. You can have your Roman Reigns. You can have your Sami Zayns. You can have your Will Ospreys. You can have your Kenny Omegas. I'll take Kazuchika Okada as the current front runner for 2023 Wrestler of the Year. This man is on a hell of a run through 6-7 weeks of this year. J-News, what did you think about Okada versus Kiyomiya?
I'll say this, man, and I don't usually call for guys leaving companies. I usually don't. Like, I usually would say, hey, man, stick it out, do your thing, and grind it out. Kiyomiya needs to go over to New Japan, son. For me, he needs to leave Noah behind and go create a new lifelong feud with Kazuchika Okada. At the end of the day, look, I love Naito. You know, man, at the end of the day, Naito's on his way out, man. He just is. We need someone fresh, someone new for Okada for the next 10 years because he's only 35. So at the end of the day, give me the 26-year-old man from Noah over in New Japan. They need to run this back, man. They need to run this back. As I always like to call him, Dick Okada is the best version of Okada that there is in New Japan. Man, dude, like he just wrestled the match with this level of internal disrespect for this kid. It's like, You're not on my level, son. Let me teach you how this works. And it's like, man, why New Japan always got a son Noah like this? But let them shine.
Yo, they son Noah in the final 4 matches. Spoiler alert, because we haven't even got to the main event yet. The final 4 matches were won by New Japan talent on a Noah show.
And if you go back to the last Wrestle Kingdom 16, where it was Noah versus New Japan, Kiyomiya left the ring crying. Like
oh man, it's I don't even know what to say, dog. Like, come on, man. Like, you got to make these guys look stronger on their own show.
Fight back. Don't let them do you like that. Like, that's what I would say to one of my kids. If my kids is getting their ass kicked by another little kid, I'll be like, fight back. Fight back.
Oh man, it was. I you know, at the end of the day, it was a terrific match. When Okada picked him up after the 2 count, I was like, he did not just do that. I took Booker T came in my head. Tell me he did not just do that. It was one of those things where I was like, dog, oh man, Japanese wrestling. So this is why I love it. You know, at the end of the day, there's certain things that happen during matches. Yeah, you'll get it sometimes in American wrestling, but at the end of the day, it just pops you more when you watch Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
Because it's not very character driven at the end of the day. So, you know, yeah, man, I want more of this, man. This young man needs to raise his star. He needs to go over to New Japan. Sorry, no offense. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, he needs to make some New Japan appearances. They need to make this bigger than ever, and have him be Okada's next opponent for the next 10 years. Because this feud, it's got.
I saw a suggestion that popped me online where it was like, have Kiyomiya appear in the G1 and Costa and have him pin Okada in the G1 or just something like that. Yeah, take it all the way. Fight forever.
Exactly. Absolutely, I'd be down for that. I want Kiyomiya because this was a great performance by him in this matchup. Don't get us wrong by us laughing at that finish, because it's not even laughing at him. It's just laughing because Okada is just so good at being this dick. It's like, why did they have him playing this kind of like white meat babyface when this man's whole character is a rich man trope? He's a cocky, overconfident, entitled rich man, and that's what made him one of the GOATs in New Japan. And I love the fact that he's going back to it, and I love the fact that it's Kiyomiya that has brought this out of him. That's the best part.
Yeah, that it's definitely working. It's definitely working.
Greatness personified. If there's one match on this show, you definitely have to go out of your way to see. It's Okada versus Kiyomiya for sure, but that is not what everybody filled the Tokyo Dome for. They filled it for the main event. Keiji Muto's Last Love, Pro Wrestling Last Love, his final matchup against New Japan Pro Wrestling's own Tetsuya Naito. Before the match, Masahiro Chono came out and cut a promo honoring the career of Muta. And then that video package, though, with Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. Oh man! And then the Sex Pistols version when Naito started talking about, this was so well done. Naito coming out with what my missus said. My missus took a look. She only looked at the entrances for this show and she judged it on the ring jackets. And she said, "Oh, Naito had the best ring jacket of the night in her opinion because it was just elegant." She was like, "That's something that I would tell you to wear." And then Muta coming out. This was just an amazing entrance. This was spectacular how they mixed all his past themes leading into his rising up from the stage with the Last Love on the flying platform during his long walk to the ring. You hear the fans chanting Muta, Muta. It just felt like a big time main event matchup. Once the opening theatrics was done, we got the collar and elbow tie up, and then Naito really kind of set the pace with everything. He got an elbow drop at one point, and that on Muta that cut his cheek open. Naito eventually got split open on a ring post spot. He hit the nice little running drop kick on the ramp, and this was a lot of like callbacks to different people's moves, whether it was Muta, whether it was Masawa. They had callbacks to Shono in this one as well. Naito using Muta's figure 4 at one point. Muta with the dragon screw. The shout out to Tatsumi Fujinami. You had him hitting the Shining Wizard and getting a few near falls in this one. He had the Masawa tribute, which probably got the biggest reaction when he hit the Emerald Flosion on Naito and got a near near fall. And this felt like, I think Dave Meltzer said it. He was like, this was not only like the retirement match of Muta, it was like the retirement match of all the greats, greats that he came up with Sawa, who never got his retirement match. I think he said Hayashimoto as well. Naito was hitting a couple of shining wizards at the end and almost got the near fall, but eventually he put Muta away with the Destino. Probably my favorite parts of the matchup is when Muta would hit the backbreaker, go up to the top for the moonsault, and basically the storytelling of it, of him just being like, nah, I'm too old for that. It's over. I just gotta accept my fate. That's what his facial expressions told to me. And in the end, Naito getting the win with Destino. Naito, this might have been Naito's best performance in a main event that I've ever seen, because despite the limitations, this was a great matchup. This was a great main event and a fitting end to Keiji Muto's career. Or so we thought it was, because Naito thought he was going to get a Tokyo Dome main event until Muta got on the mic after Naito left, and he says, I want Masahiro Chono for my final matchup, the secret main event. He calls Tiger Hattori in, and we get Chono versus Muta. Chono, who was on commentary, was crying throughout this matchup behind his shades. You also had Tanahashi on commentary, crying throughout this matchup. And then these two legends went at it. This match only went like 2 minutes top.
Yeah, 2-3 minutes.
3 minutes top. They got a collar and elbow tie up. Chono hit like a chop and a slap. Then he hit a shining wizard, and then he put him away with the STF. And both men cried afterwards. This was just beautiful. It was beautiful, just how they did this. Chono finally getting his retirement match that he was never able to get. Tiger Hattori being in there, coming out of retirement to referee this matchup. And then you had the ring announcer, used to be the ring announcer for New Japan Pro Wrestling, going over Muta's career, giving him a final send-off. And then, of course, Muta make the long walk down the ramp and said farewell to the final pyro at the end. And then the screen after Muto left put up Muto, Masawa, and Hashimoto across the Tokyo Dome. This was just so well done. Production top-notch, second to none. NK, what did you think about the main event, the secret main event, and everything else? Naito and Muta, I'll give a star rating for. I'm not going to give a star rating for Chono and Muta. It's off the charts. But that match, I gave 4 stars, 4.25 stars actually, because Naito was just excellent in this matchup. But NK, what did you think about Naito, Muta, and then the Muta and Chono?
I just feel like this is probably like the best retirement I've seen. Personally, you know, it would have been up there. I mean, I would have said Ric Flair's, but then he went to TNA, so yeah. Yeah, I just feel like this is what you call a celebration of somebody's career, and this is like Muto means so much to this to Japanese wrestling. Obviously, I wasn't alive when Muto was like in his prime, but going back into the archives and just hearing the crowd react to him that way in 2023 when he's well past his prime, you know what I'm saying? He's out of the main event pictures. Just to hear like how much respect and reverence the crowd had for him to this day. And yeah, Naito's performance against him was incredible, and you could tell like Naito put his wins because Muto is his idol. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the Stardust genius for a reason. And then yeah, like Muto calling out Chono was such a heartwarming moment. I was just smiling at my laptop screen. I was like, oh man, this is what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about. And he got to go out with his head held high, and also just pay some respect to other legends in his era, because we always talk about, there's reports about Muto kind of being a bit selfish and unlucky when it comes to booking, and you kind of saw that with the whole Kiyomiya feud, how he wouldn't put him over and stuff like that. But it was nice to see that Muto acknowledge his peers and acknowledge the people and give back to the people that came up with him, and that the people that made 90s era Japanese wrestling such a revered and great time in wrestling. And overall it was like, even though the era's long and gone, this felt like the perfect cap off of that era, if you wanted something that encapsulates what that era meant to people, this is something that, you know, you can show to people, be like, this is what 90s Japanese wrestling was all about. Not just Keiji Muto, but Chono, you had the Misawa tribute, you had other tributes to wrestlers throughout the match. Yeah, man, it was incredible, man. This is like one of the best send-offs I've ever seen in wrestling, like, for sure.
Very well said. The only thing that I think would have made Muto and Naito even perfect is if Naito would have either hit the Stardust Pressed or the moonsault. If he would have hit the moonsault after Muto teasing it throughout the matchup, if he would have won with the moonsault, then it would have been a perfect retirement match. J-News, what did you think?
Oh man, in the words of Ric Flair, man, I had a tear in my eye the whole damn time, man. It was sometimes you just don't realize how long you've been like interacting with certain things or certain people from afar or whatever. It's not like I know Keiji Muto or whatever, but it's like, what was I, 4 years old the first time I freaking watched him in a freaking match? It's absurd how long I've been watching him. And to understand that this retirement match, hopefully, is his last match, is something unique and something special. The Chono thing surprised the hell out of me, because Chono, like to your guys' point, Chono didn't get a retirement match. Chono had to retire early due to injury and stuff like that or whatever. He didn't get a retirement match, and for Muto to call him out, have the collar and elbow, couple of strikes, Shining Wizard into the STF. You know, it was just something that, you know, and they were happy, you know, in that particular moment. They were very happy. They were glad to be in the ring with one another, especially Chono to get that final send off that he never got. You know, praises to Misawa and Chono and even Kenta Kobashi at times. And you know, you saw a Tatsumi Fujinami in the crowd. I think Rick Chosen was there too. I was like, yo, it was, you know, next to Tiger Hattori. It was a whole thing, and I was there like, I grew up on this shit, man. Like it's crazy, you know. And to see him bow out gracefully, right, and then not be in a controversial way. He went out on his sword. He took the losses, 2 losses in a row. He took 2 losses in a row. So that was cool to see. Naito did his thing, man. And for all intents and purposes, as cool as Naito can be, as tranquilo as Naito can be, you saw the emotion on his face throughout the entire match. He wore it on his face, man. And you know, he's a legend of Japanese wrestling, no doubt. But I think from an industry standpoint, for what he brought when he came to the US, it was just different. It was different, man. We didn't have anything like that at all here. And for him to write the Great Muta character here in the US for, as much as he did, and then to understand that he did wrestle as two different characters, right, throughout his career, and with 2 different styles at the same time, right? The Great Muta character was more of a hardcore-ish type character. He did more diabolical things. Keiji Muto was more of the strong style Tekker wrestler of everything in between. You know, the one thing I have to say about the match that got me, and he already had pulled off the spot before with attempting the moonsault. I thought he was going to go for it one more time. Like, legitimately, I thought he was going to do it one more time to send the crowd off in a freaking frenzy. But, you know, he's too old. He couldn't do it. He can't even do the Muta lock at the end of the day. So you know, it is what it is there. But yeah, man, I thought that there's a lot of times where you want to see guys retire in a very graceful and respectful way, and I think this was the best way to do it for him in this stage with this grand production. To your point, SP3, yo, whoever is backing Noah, why don't they back everybody? I mean, what the hell? Like, New Japan's getting screwed. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but man, the production value of this show was top notch and second to none. And yeah, like I said, with a tear in my eye, man, it was just one of those things where it's like, all right, it's time to bow out. One of my favorites of all time is done. His career is over. Man, this was a moment. This is a moment.
It was so beautiful. Like NK said, one of the best retirements or send-offs for a legend that I think we have ever seen in professional wrestling. Just the stage, the circumstance, the platform, everything was just so well done. We got Dolores in the chat who says, "This is my first year keeping up constantly with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I love their wrestling and storytelling. Plus, they expand to other companies." I said, like, this is the era of collaboration for NJPW, and on a Noah show, NJPW looked the best because this was you had the last 4 matches them winning, and then you had Chono and Muda, who are so interlocked with the history and the legacy of New Japan Pro Wrestling, not Pro Wrestling Noah, with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tiger Hattori, who's like the greatest referee in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. Like, this was a New Japan. New Japan got to steal all the shine from Pro Wrestling Noah at the end of this, and I love it because in a week where they had Mercedes Moné debut and have the great debut in San Jose, in a week where Yuji Nagata won the All Japan Pro Wrestling Triple Crown, and then they did this. New Japan is on the rise, man. New Japan so far, 2023 promotion of the year right now. We got. Go ahead. I was going to say, Vala B saying COVID has sort of forced the Japanese promotions to work together again. Yes, indeed. And I'm enjoying it. I'm all for it.
Look, at the end of the day, Vala B's point is I mean, it's a fact. You know, COVID forced them to work together, but I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for Japanese wrestling at the end of the day. I think wrestling as a whole should be a collaborative effort. If to go off on a tangent and stuff like that, the WWE did something that basically monopolized wrestling, and we only had one wrestling company for about 10 to 15 years, and that sucked. You know what I'm saying? At the forefront, one wrestling company at the forefront. But for Japanese wrestling to get together now and do collaboration and stuff like that, I look forward to this, man. This is like Noah, New Japan, All Japan. Like, for people who haven't watched All Japan since the 90s, it still exists, folks. It still exists. So it's like, yo, for this to be happening is, to me, is probably the underlining focal point of this event, that all this collaboration is happening and that everybody's going to be brought up by this. Keep the great production coming too, man. Damn. That's really where it's at.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here for this top-notch production of Noah. So Noah, you got me. I'll watch your next big show. I'll watch whatever you're going to do because the production was amazing on this show right here. So let's put our thumbs in the middle for this show. So thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle for Keiji Muto's grand final Pro Wrestling Last Love Holdout in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up all across the board. Sound off in the live chat. Let us know your match of the night, MVP, LVP, and out of 10, what did you give the show? Out of 10, I'm going to give the show a 9 out of 10. I think it's right up there with Wrestle Kingdom 17, Elimination Chamber from this past weekend. I also gave a 9 out of 10, but just alone, those 3 matches, like we said throughout, this was a big card. So of course there's going to be some missable matches, but as long as the final couple of matches delivered, but I gave all the 3 final matches 4 stars, plus the trios matchup with All Japan Pro Wrestling versus Noah, plus the 4 stars for the Tokyo Joshi Pro showcase. So I give this show 9 out of 10. NK, what do you give it?
I give it 8 out of 10, just because I can't ignore the the low period.
Yeah.
And I rate it based on, like, could I show someone a random wrestling fan this pay-per-view and would they enjoy it top to bottom? And to be honest, I feel like the highs of this pay-per-view are 10s. But if I was to balance everything out, I'd probably give it like an 8.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. J-News, what about you?
Yeah, I'm with NK, man. I gave it a solid 8. Just because of the filler matches and stuff like that. You know, the Chono Muto spot deserves a 10 on its own. Yeah, you know, that's like separate from everything else. That just deserves a 10 on its own. Yeah, exactly like Val B said. But that particular that spot itself deserves a 10 on its own. Like I said, the filler matches, you know, we could have gone without and stuff like that. I know I mentioned it to SP3 when he sent me the the link to watch was like, there's another 5-hour show. What the
I was like, after watching it, I was like, nah, if you skip like the intermissions and stuff, it's kind of like 4 hours.
Oh, those intermissions were brutal live. Oh my god,
man.
I can only imagine if I was watching live. Sheesh.
Yeah, because like they'd be like those. I thought there's like a 15-minute segment where just commentary, we're just talking, and I was like, yeah, can we get to the matches? Like, oh my god.
Yeah. I just wanted to take some time out to answer some of this fantastic mania slander going on in the chat right now. At the end of the day, yes, it's usually 6 days, Dolores. The reason as to why I pop for it so much is because it's a change of pace of New Japan stuff. It's fun, right? At the end of the day, it's not like it's terrific wrestling. It's not a tournament thing or whatever the case is. It's goofy wrestling for 6 days. And I enjoy it because it takes you out of the norm and whatnot. And the CMLL wrestlers, by majority, when they do go over to Japan, they do get to show off their talents and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. Which is why I pop for it, because I don't get to watch CMLL on a regular basis. Because to Vala B's point, watching CMLL proper does get boring because the product itself isn't what it used to be in its heyday. So just the collaborative effort between New Japan and CMLL doing Fantastic Mania. I don't ever watch it live. I always watch everything in bunches. Just because like Dolores said, watching 6 days in a row of it and not getting enough sleep isn't cool. So I usually just catch up with it over the weekend. And then we go forward from there. But yeah. I just wanted to say that.
I had to address that. Y'all not going to slander my Fantastica Mania, is what J-News is saying. You know what? After listening to both of y'all, I do agree with y'all points. So I'm going to come down from my 9 out of 10 and put it in the middle. I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 for this show. LVP for the show. Damn. I gotta think about this. I'm gonna say the good looking guys, because I expect so much from them for their name, but they did not impress with that pre-show matchup. And then I would also put in Nasawa, because that was a strange retirement to go out on. So who's your LVP, J-News?
Oh man, geez, yeah, no, that I thought the LVP of the night was that Gedo Ishimori versus the Los Perros del Mal match. I thought that was the LVP moment of the night, because that was 5 minutes, and it was a strange thing, and obviously there wasn't any English commentary, so for folks watching the Japanese commentary thing, we didn't know what the link or the story behind all of this was, so it was like, okay, we're supposed to feel something, but we're not necessarily feeling it here. So that's my LVP moment.
Time to move on swiftly. NK LVP for the show.
Exactly what J-News says. That Gedo match, like, it came and went, and yeah, like that is something I would not revisit for any particular reason.
Fair, that is fair. MVP for the show, J-News. Let's start with you.
Oh man, you really gonna try to give me the MVP of the show? But look, listen, man. Look, the MVP of the show is the Chono Muda spot. That's what it was. Chono Muda.
That's fair.
It. MVP.
That is fair. That is a fair one. NK?
It feels disrespectful to not put Chono Muto as MVP spot. But if I'm not gonna include, like, obviously the man himself, Muto, it's Okada. Like, if it's not Muto, it's Okada. So yeah, the pick your poison from those two. But yeah, because it's his show, Muto Chono.
I'm gonna go with a 3-way tie. I'm saying Okada, Chono, and Muto is my MVP for the show, because Okada, just lifting up Kiyomiya is probably my favorite spot of the year. Now it's bypassed Kiyomiya kicking him in the head. It's now him lifting up Kiyomiya after first.
That still looks brutal, son. That kicks in the head.
It does. And match of the night, of course, I'm going with Okada versus Kiyomiya.
Yeah,
who you got?
Sure.
Unanimous?
Yeah, unanimous.
Unanimous. So that brings us to a close. Sound off in the live chat with your choices for match of the night, MVP, LVP. If you're watching this on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about Keiji Muto's grand finale and give us your MVP, LVP, and match of the night. We want to thank NK for joining us for the first time on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, but not the last time. Please let the people know where they can listen to your content, watch your content, wrestle things, ace techers, all that good stuff. The floor is yours.
So if you want to catch me, me and SP3 preaching the good New Japan gospel, join us on Ace Techers on the Wrestling Network. That's available on all streaming platforms. If you want to catch me and my Wrestling's co-host, chop it up weekly about AEW, WWE, a bit of New Japan here and there, and other wrestling content. We've got a show called Wrestling for Idiots where we break down historical events in wrestling. We did a recap of the invasion. We did a recap of MMA and pro wrestling. We've got tons of wrestling content for you, man. Whether it's documentaries, whether it's podcasts, whether it's game shows, we've all got it on Restings, and that's Restings on YouTube, Restings on Spotify, Restings on all social media platforms. So yeah, and you can find, and if you just want to see my day-to-day tweets about wrestling, it's NK Preach on Twitter.
Absolutely. Follow this man. This man's knowledge of professional wrestling is right up there with the best in the business. So follow him on social media. Subscribe to Wrestle Things YouTube channel. Become a member over there. And of course, you can listen to me and NK chopping it up about New Japan Pro Wrestling with Sanal and Kieran over at Wrestle in J-News.
If I may, NK, brother, shout out to you. And that interview you had with Will Ospreay not too long ago. One of the dopest interviews I've seen in a long time, bro.
Definitely, Will, man. He's a good guy.
Yeah, man. He's a good. Thank you, NK. Thank you.
Good guy, man.
That's all I gotta say, sir. But where can people catch me? The usual, the Instagrams, SP3_JONJY. I like to interact with the folks out there, man. I try to keep it light and all that. So, I'll be back during the weekend on the Patreon talking about the Fantastica Mania. Yeah, I'll still do the damn thing. I'm still doing the damn thing. So there you go.
You already know J-News is going to be good for that, and he's going to be chopping it up about Fantastica Mania on the patreon.com/True Hill Heat. Just for $3 a month, you get exclusive content like that. My Raw report reviewing Monday Night Raw every single week. You got Dark Power reviewing NWA, AEW Dark, and Dark Elevation. Also subscribe to True Hill Heat Sports, our secondary channel talking about all things sports. We're going to have some more baseball content up on there. You might see J-News over there as well. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. We got plenty of great content for you to enjoy right now. You can check out yesterday's AE Ramble with myself and Jimmy Macaram talking about this week's AEW Dynamite with Tony Khan's big announcement. It was huge. It was important. It was great. We also talked about Orange Cassidy and Willie Yuta, the MJF Bryan Danielson promo segment. Also check out my interview that just went up yesterday for True Hill's BTR Between the Ropes with Speedball Mike Bailey, one of my favorite interviews I've ever had the privilege of doing. And then tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, True Hill Heat 214. It will be myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and special guest Fightful's Rob Wilkins. So join us for that tomorrow. But for our special guest, NK, for J-News, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our Keiji Muto Grand Finale Roundtable Review. We are signing off until next time. Peace, y'all. Until tomorrow.